Have you ever seen something that just shouldn't be possible? I was out of town on a business trip, no one was home, but my security camera recorded someone walking around my living room, and it was me. Sleepwalking. The craziest part? It didn't. Just happened once. Watch until the end and tell me. How would you explain this? My name is David Chen, and what happened to me over the last 3 weeks defies any logical explanation. I'm a rational person. I work as a software engineer. I believe in science. I don't usually believe in supernatural things. But this changed everything. Before I start, I want you to know that I have all the evidence. The videos, the travel, records, the hotel receipts. Everything is documented. And at the end of this story, I'm going to show you the videos. Prepare yourselves. Because what you're about to see will question everything you believe about reality. This isn't just a story about impossible events. It's about the nature of existence itself. And by the end, you might question your own reality too. It all started a month ago when I installed a security system in my house. Nothing major, just precaution after my neighbor got robbed. I chose a top-of-the-line system. 6 4K cameras, night vision, motion detection, everything connected to my phone. I could monitor the house from anywhere in the world. My girlfriend Elena thought it was overkill. David, we live in a safe neighborhood. Why all the paranoia? Better safe than sorry, I replied. Besides, it'll be useful when we travel. We can keep an eye on the house. The technician who installed it was an experienced guy, Robert Santos. He configured everything perfectly. Motion alerts, automatic recording, cloud backup. Top system, he said, testing the cameras. It'll capture even a mosquito if it moves in the living room. How ironic. For the first few days, the system worked normally. It recorded the neighbor's cats in the yard, the mailman delivering mail, Elena coming home from work. Nothing out of the ordinary, until the Seattle trip. Elena worked as an ICU nurse at the local hospital, so she was used to long, irregular hours. I was a software engineer for a tech company that frequently sent me to conferences. Everything was perfectly normal in our lives, until I started seeing myself in places I'd never been. On October 15th, I traveled to Seattle on business. 3-day conference on artificial intelligence. Elena stayed home, but had shifts at the hospital all 3 days. I left home at 6 a.m. Flight at 9 a.m., arrived in Seattle at 2 p.m. local time, checked into the Grand Hyatt Hotel at 3:30 p.m. I have the receipt, the photos I sent to Elena, everything documented. The first night was quiet. Dinner with colleagues, a few drinks, went to bed early for the next day's conference. It was on the morning of the 16th that I received the first strange notification on my phone. Motion detected, living room, 3:47 a.m. Strange. Eleanor was working. Shouldn't be back until morning. Maybe she came home early. I opened the camera app to check. What I saw left me confused. It was a figure walking through the living room, but the quality was poor, kind of blurry. I thought it was Elena coming home from work. I texted, "Home early from your shift?" She replied an hour later, "What? I'm still at the hospital. Don't get off until 8 a.m. I revisited the video. The figure was taller than Elena and moved strangely, kind of stumbling intruder. But the alarm didn't go off. I called Elena. "Honey, can you check the house when you get there? I think someone broke in." "Sure, but did you activate the alarm before traveling?" "I did." I always do that, but what happened next would make me question everything I thought I knew about reality. Elena arrived home at 9 a.m. and inspected everything. Nothing out of place, no sign of break-in. Doors and windows locked, alarm working normally. "Everything's normal here, honey. Maybe it was a reflection of some light on the camera." Made sense, technology sometimes fails, but that night, it happened again. Motion detected, living room, 2:23 a.m. This time I opened the app immediately, and what I saw chilled me. The quality was better now, I could see clearly. It was a man walking through my living room, tall, dark hair, wearing clothes that seemed familiar, very familiar. I called Elena immediately. "There's someone in the house, call the police." "What?" "David, I'm here at the hospital. What time is it there?" It was 5:23 a.m. my time. Elena had been working for 2 hours. "I'm seeing someone in our living room right now." I'll call the police. I kept watching, heart racing. The man walked slowly, as if he were sleeping. Slow, disconnected movements. Sleepwalking? But what the hell would a sleepwalker be doing in my house? Police arrived in 15 minutes. They inspected everything. Nothing, no sign of break-in, no evidence that anyone had been there. Security systems sometimes have false positives, the officer said. Shadows, reflections from passing cars, it's common. But I knew what I had seen, and it was about to get much, much worse. The next day, obsessively, I watched the video dozens of times. Zoomed in, adjusted brightness, analyzed every frame. That's when I noticed something that made the world spin. The clothes the man was wearing were identical to my blue pajamas, the same ones that were in my suitcase in Seattle. And there was something more disturbing. The way he walked, the posture, the way he turned his head, it was too familiar. I called Elena. I need you to do something strange for me. What? Go to our room and check if my blue pajamas are there. Silence. David, you took all your pajamas. It's on the trip. I remember you packing your suitcase. My suitcase, I opened it frantically. There were the blue pajamas. How could the man in the video be wearing exactly the same clothes that were with me in Seattle? That night I couldn't sleep. I kept watching the cameras the entire time. 15 am. Motion detected again. This time, I managed to record my phone screen while watching live. What I saw made me question my sanity. The man entered the living room, exactly like before. Same clothes, same slow movements. But now I could see the face. It was my face. I was sleepwalking in my house while sleeping in a hotel 1,500 kilometers away. Initially, I refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. There had to be a logical explanation. Deepfake? Impossible. The technology exists, but who would do this? And why? Lost twin. Ridiculous. My parents would have told me. Someone who looks like me, in clothes identical to mine. Too improbable. I spent hours researching scientific explanations, astral projection, bilocation, quantum phenomena. Everything sounded like science fiction. I called my mother. Mom, I need to ask something strange. Are you absolutely sure I don't have a twin brother? David, what kind of question is that? Of course I'm sure. Are you okay? I told Elena everything when she got back from her shift. I showed her the videos. She turned pale. David, this is impossible. I know it's impossible, but it's happening. Maybe it's, I don't know, stress? You've been working a lot. Elena, I'm not crazy. I'm seeing this happen. She hugged me. We'll figure it out together when you get back, okay? But in the depths of her eyes, I saw something that cut me. Doubt. She was starting to question my sanity, and honestly, so was I. But the evidence was right there, recorded in high definition, time-stamped and verified. I was somehow existing in two places at once, and it was about to get infinitely worse. I returned home on the 18th, determined to solve the mystery. The first thing I did was check the entire security system. I called Robert, the technician who installed the cameras. I need you to check if the system could have been hacked. Hacked how? Someone inserting fake videos, manipulating recordings. He laughed. David, this system has military-grade encryption. It would be impossible. Even so, he did a complete verification. Everything normal, no sign of digital invasion, no manipulation in the files. The videos are 100% authentic, he confirmed, recorded directly from the cameras with original timestamp. I asked Elena to watch the videos with me again. We analyzed frame by frame. It's you, she said, trembling. It's definitely you. Same height, same face, same way of walking when you're sleepy. But I was in Seattle. I know, honey. I know. We showed the videos to our friend Marcus, who works with digital forensic analysis. He's an expert at detecting deep fakes and manipulations. After 2 hours of analysis, he gave us the verdict we feared. The videos are completely authentic. No editing, no digital manipulation. What you're seeing really happened. That night, I installed an additional camera in the bedroom. If I was sleepwalking, I wanted to capture how I was leaving the house. The result was even more disturbing. In the early morning of the 19th, All cameras captured something extraordinary. At 2:45 a.m., the bedroom camera filmed me sleeping deeply in bed. Elena beside me also sleeping. At 2:47 a.m., the living room cameras filmed me walking through the house, 2 simultaneous recordings. Me sleeping in bed and walking through the house at the same time. When I showed this to Elena in the morning, she went into shock. "David, this is physically impossible. I know, we called Dr. Harrison, our family doctor. We told him everything, showed him the videos." He was perplexed. "In 30 years of medicine, I've never seen anything like this. I'll refer you to a neurologist." The consultation with Dr. Williams was even more frustrating. "Extreme sleepwalking can cause complex behaviors," he said, "but being in 2 places at the same time, that defies the laws of physics." He ordered a series of tests: MRI, electroencephalogram, polysomnography. All results normal, perfectly healthy brain, no neurological disorders. That night I set up extra cameras, 6 in the bedroom, 4 in the living room, 2 in the kitchen, 1 in the garage. If something was happening, I was going to capture every second. What happened in the early morning of the 20th was the most disturbing of all. At 3:20 a.m. on the 20th, the cameras recorded something that completely broke my understanding of reality. I was in bed sleeping. This was confirmed by 6 different cameras. Simultaneously, the living room cameras showed me walking through the house. But this time, it wasn't just one extra me. There were 3 versions of me, all identical, all moving independently. Through the house, 1 in the living room messing with books on the shelf, 1 in the kitchen opening and closing cabinets, 1 in the hallway, just standing, staring at the wall. Elena woke up to my screams of terror when I saw the recordings. In the morning. David, what happened?" I showed her the videos. She vomited. "This isn't possible, this isn't possible." We called the police again. Detective Parker, who had already assisted us before, came personally. After seeing the videos, he was silent. For 5 minutes. "In 20 years of career, I've never seen anything remotely like this." "What do you think is happening?" I asked. "Honestly, I have no idea, but I'm going to call some specialists." That afternoon, our house became an investigation center. 2 detectives, a technology specialist, a forensic psychologist, and a physicist from the local university, all reached the same impossible conclusion. The videos were authentic, but physically and logically impossible. Dr. Stevens, the physicist, tried to give us some scientific theories. "There's a concept in quantum physics called many worlds," he explained. "The idea that parallel realities exist." "Are you saying this is about parallel dimensions?" Elena asked. "I'm saying that science still doesn't fully understand the nature of reality. There may be phenomena we can't explain yet." The forensic psychologist Dr. Martinez had a different theory. "Extreme cases of dissociation can create multiple physical manifestations of the same consciousness." "Doctor," I interrupted, "I'm literally in 2 places at the same time. This isn't psychology." "You're right. This goes beyond any known psychological disorder." That night, Elena had an idea. What if we tried to communicate with these versions of you?" "How?" "Leave messages. See if they respond." We wrote a simple message on a piece of paper and left it on the living room table. "Who are you?" We positioned the cameras to capture any response. In the early morning at 2:55 a.m., one of my versions found the paper. He picked up a pen and wrote something. When I woke up, I ran to see the response. What was written made me question everything. I knew about existence. The response written on the paper was in my handwriting, perfectly identical, but the words chilled me. "We are you in other realities. The veil is tearing." Elena read the message and collapsed into a chair. "David, what does this mean?" "I don't know, but they, or I, or whatever, are conscious." That night we left another question. "Why are you here?" The response came the next morning. "Something is pulling our realities into the same dimension. We can't control it." And below, written with shaky handwriting, "Help us." That's when Elena asked the question that changed everything. "David, what if you're not the original? What if you're also a version from somewhere else? The idea hit me, like lightning. How could I be sure I was the real David? What if my memory of always being myself was false? We decided to do a test. We asked, "Do you remember growing up in this reality?" The response was terrifying. We all remember the same life, same memories, same Elena, same room. How do we know which is real? Elena started crying. David, how will we know which of you I'm married to? That's when I realized the true extent of the horror. If there were multiple me's, there could be multiple Eleanors too. And what if the Elena beside me wasn't my original Eleanor? That night, we installed cameras in the room where Elena slept when she wasn't with me. What we discovered destroyed our concept of reality. At 4:15 a.m., while Elena slept beside me, the cameras in the other room captured another Elena sleeping alone. 2 Elenas. 2 versions of the woman I loved. When I showed her the video in the morning, Elena had a panic attack. That's not me, I was here with you. I know, honey, but look, in the recordings, we could clearly see 2 versions of her, in different rooms sleeping at the same time. How do we know which of us is real? She asked, trembling. We didn't know. We decided to directly confront the other us. We stayed awake all night, waiting for them to appear. At 3:30 a.m. they appeared. 3 versions of me and 2 versions of Elena, all walking through the house like sleepwalkers. I got up and shouted, "Stop! Wake up!" One of my versions turned and looked directly at me. His eyes were open but completely white. No pupils, no iris. He opened his mouth and spoke with my voice. "You shouldn't have installed the cameras." "Why?" "Because now you can see us, and we can see you." "What do you want?" The answer terrified me. We want our life back. The other versions of me and Elena started moving in a coordinated way, as if controlled by the same mind. "You don't understand," said one of the Elena versions with the same haunted white eyes. "We've always been here." "You are the copies," completed another version of me. "We are the originals." Elena clung to me. "David, this can't be happening." But it was. And it was getting worse. The versions started approaching us, moving in an inhuman way, like puppets controlled by invisible strings. "Every day you stay in this reality, we become more real," said one version of me. "And you become more transparent." I looked at my hands. They were starting to become translucent. Elena was also slowly disappearing. "What's happening to us?" she screamed. "You are the echoes," replied one of the other Elenas. "We are the real people. The cameras just made visible what always existed." That's when I understood the terrible truth. We were the ghosts. The cameras weren't capturing intruders in our house. They were capturing the true owners. And we were just reflections of a reality that didn't belong to us. But even that wasn't the complete truth. The real horror was still coming. "No," I screamed. "This is our house, our life, our memories." "Your memories are copies of ours," replied my white-eyed version. "You are echoes of a dimensional explosion that happened 3 weeks ago." 3 weeks. Exactly when I installed the cameras. "The security system installation created a rupture," explained another version of Elena. "It allowed you to manifest in our reality. But now that you've been discovered, you must return to the void." Elena was becoming increasingly transparent. I could see through her. "David, I remember our entire life together. How can this be? False?" "I don't know," I said, also slowly disappearing. "But I remember everything, our first meeting, our first kiss, our first fight. All real memories," said one of my versions. "But not yours, ours." That's when I had one last terrifying revelation. If we were echoes, how could we have installed real cameras? How could we have interacted with the physical world? Unless you're also echoes, I said to the white-eyed versions. None of us. Here are real. The silence that followed confirmed my suspicion. All of us were fragments of something bigger that had broken, and the cameras. The cameras were capturing the process of reality reconstruction. But reconstruction into whom? Suddenly, all versions of us, me, Elena, and the others, started glowing. We were like holograms dissolving and reforming. "It's happening," said one of the Elenas. "The fusion." Fusion. All versions of us are merging into a single reality. I felt memories that weren't mine flowing into my mind, experiences from other dimensions, other lives, other choices. Elena screamed when the same thing happened to her. I remember dying in a car accident, but I also remember never having crashed. Two different lives. The white-eyed versions were smiling now. You're understanding. We're all the same person, living all possibilities simultaneously. The cameras simply made your personal multiverse visible. That's when I woke up, sudden change of tone. I woke up in my bed, Elena beside me at 6 a.m. I looked around. No security cameras, normal walls, normal reality, but in my hand is a paper with my handwriting. Thank you for letting us experience being alive. Eleanor woke up and looked at me. David, are you okay? You were talking in your sleep all night. Talking? About what? Cameras, versions of yourself, sleepwalking. It was a very vivid nightmare. I looked at the paper in my hand. Eleanor couldn't see it. Was it just a dream? But when I checked my phone, there was a video that shouldn't exist. A video of me installing security cameras in a house I'd never seen. And at the end of the video, I look directly at the camera and say, if you're watching this, you're the next version. I still have the video. I still have the paper. And sometimes when I look in the mirror, my eyes are turning white, the cameras are still recording, and I'm starting to see other versions of myself again. But now I know the truth. We're all just different possibilities of the same person. And the cameras, they're not just recording reality, they're creating it.